car door. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, how you been? They got you running.
This
is Amanda.
Hi, nice to meet you.
I think we had a meeting in your office with President Casey discussing the Utica Street project. Yeah, that was, I thought that was the last time, but maybe it was. I'm glad the project of 5 resales work. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, with COVID and everything. It's not easy. No. Yeah, no, God bless Colgate for taking the initiative and the new one is coming along quickly. You expect to see it all this year? Cool. Wow. No. That's great. That's great. Let me ask just before we start, if you guys want to make some sort of statement on behalf of the college to describe the project, you don't have to. A lot of the description is in. I'm just going to read a very boring public hearing script that's been drawn out by our lawyers. But if you'd like, there is a portion for me at the end to turn things over if a representative from the college wants to make a statement on the record to describe the project or to make any other comment. You're welcome to. But I don't want to put you on the spot if you would rather not. I think so too. All right. I'm going to simply not recognize you, but if either of you would like to make a statement on the record, you're more than welcome to. I always send out public hearing notices. We have to send it via certified mail to the affected taxing entities. So the mayor and the town supervisor and the county and the school district all received the notice. I make a follow-up phone call just to explain what's being asked. Assure them that the bonds are not in any way an obligation or responsibility of any of the affected taxing entities. That it's on the full faith and credit of the college, the institution. Nobody's had any problems with this. So. All right. And we do, state law requires that we film, live stream, and then document for 5 years on our website all public hearings and meetings. So, are we live?
You're on. Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry.
All right. Good morning. My name is Hicks, and I'm the executive director of the Madison County Capital Research Corporation in connection with the project, which is the subject of this public hearing. I'm also the public hearing officer for this public hearing, and we are holding this public hearing to allow citizens to make a statement for the record related to the sponsorship and involvement of the issuer in this project for the benefit of Colgate University, a not-for-profit educational corporation organized and existing under the laws of the state of New York. I will begin by providing the description of the proposed project and the university's request for financial assistance, along with further information regarding the purpose of the public hearing, the issuer's legal authority, and the issuer's next step. Following that introduction, I will then open up this public hearing for comments. The proposed project consists of the following. A, the refinancing of the issuer's tax-exempt revenue bond series 2015A, issued on May 14, 2015, in the aggregate principal amount of $39,985,000. The proceeds of the series 2015A bonds being used to refinance the the tax-exempt civic facility revenue bonds, series 2005A, issued on September 26, 2005, by the Madison County Industrial Development Agency in the original aggregate principal amount of $43,690,000. proceeds of the Series 2005A bonds being used to finance one, certain capital improvements on university facilities on the approximately 550-acre campus located at 13 Oak Drive in the village of Hamilton, town of Hamilton, Madison County, New York, which is bounded by or approximate to Hamilton Street, East Kendrick Avenue, Broad Street, and College Street in the village of Hamilton. Capital improvements, capital improvements to the buildings owned by the university located at 180 Broad Street, 40 Broad Street, 52 Broad Street, 66 Broad Street, 72 Broad Street, 88 Broad Street, 100 Hamilton Street, 104 Broad Street, and 114 Broad Street, respectively, all in the village of Hamilton, New York. B, the refinancing of the issuer's tax-exempt bonds, Series 2015B, issued on July 8, 2015, in the aggregate principal amount of $49,670,000, with proceeds of the 2015B series bonds being used to finance certain capital improvements to university facilities located on the campus and improvements to the buildings owned by the university located at 94 Broad Street in the village of Hamilton, New York. C, the financing of all or a portion of the cost of the foregoing by the issuance of tax-exempt and/or taxable revenue bonds of the issuer in one or more issues or series in an aggregate principal amount sufficient to pay a portion of the cost of undertaking the project, together with the necessary incidental costs in connection therewith, then estimated to be $85 million, or in the event not to exceed $90 million. And D, the paying of a portion of the cost incidental to the issuance of the obligation, including issuance costs of the obligation, and any reserve funds as may be necessary to secure the obligations. And E, the making of a loan of the proceeds of the obligations to the university or such other persons as may be designated by the university and agreed upon by the issuer. For clarification, I would like to state that the obligations of the issuer issued with respect to the proposed project will not be an obligation of the state of New York or any municipality thereof, including Madison County, New York, the municipality for whose benefit the issuer was created. In addition, the obligations of the issuer will not be a general obligation of either the issuer or the county. Obligations are not an obligation of the county or the taxpayer of the county. This public hearing is being held by the issuer to satisfy the provisions of section 147F of the Internal Revenue Code of 1986 as amended, and section 859A1 of said General Municipal Law of the State of New York. After consideration of the application received from the university, the members of the board of directors of the issuer adopted a resolution on January 23rd, 2025, offering, among other things, the executive director of the issuer to conduct a public hearing with respect to the proposed project pursuant to section 147F of the code and as required in the issuer's certificate of incorporation, section 859A of the Act. The executive director caused a copy of the certified public hearing resolution to be mailed to the chief executive officers of the county, the town of Hamilton, the village of Hamilton, and the Hamilton Central School District on February 11, 2025. The executive director of the issuer caused notice of the public hearing to be published on February 2025 in the United Daily Dispatch, a newspaper of general circulation available to the residents of the town and village of Hamilton, Madison County, New York. In addition, the executive director of the issuer caused notice of the public hearing to be mailed on February 4th, 2025 to the chief executive officers of the acting jurisdictions. B, the posting on February 4th, 2025 on a public bulletin board located at the Hamilton Village Hall, located at 3 Broad Street in the village of Hamilton, Madison County, New York, and on the issuer's website. As noted above, the university has requested the issuance of tax-exempt and/or taxable revenue bonds with respect to the undertaking of the proposed project. The issuer will consider the university's request at a subsequent meeting of the issuer, currently scheduled for this coming Thursday, February 20th, 2025 at 3 p.m. And at such meeting, the issuer will also consider the comments received at the public hearing held this morning. Such meetings, like all meetings of the issuer, are open to the general public. Copy of the notice of the public hearing is available here at the table. information regarding the legal authorization and powers of the issuer and some additional legal requirements and procedures regarding this public hearing is also attached here, Schedule A. Pursuant to Section 147F of the Code, if any portion of the obligation is intended to be issued as federally tax-exempt obligations, then prior to issuing such portion of the obligation, A, the issuer must hold a public hearing on the nature and location of the project facility and the issuance of such obligations, and B, thereafter, the Board of Supervisors of Madison County, New York must approve the issuance of such obligations. Additionally, pursuant to the certificate of incorporation of the issuer, prior to the issuer providing the financial assistance, the issuer, among other things, must hold a public hearing in accordance with guidelines set forth in Section 859A of the Act with respect to the proposed project. The purpose of this public hearing is to solicit public comment with respect to the issuer's involvement with the proposed project. We are not here to answer questions, although in the course of the hearing, we will consider questions if we have the information to answer the questions and there is sufficient time to consider such questions. General comments regarding Capital Resource Corporation are not relevant to this public hearing. As previously stated, copies of the notice of public hearing are here at the table. Unless there's any objection, I'm going to suggest waiving the full reading of the notice of the public hearing and instead request the full text of the notice of this public hearing be inserted into the record of this public hearing. Comments received today at this public hearing will be presented to the members of the board at or prior to the meeting currently scheduled for February 20th, 2025, at which meeting the members of the board will consider whether to approve the undertaking of the project by the issuer, the issuance of the obligation by the issuer, and the granting of the issuer of financial assistance. Notice of public hearing indicated that written comments could be addressed to the executive director of the issuer. No written comments were received prior this public hearing. There's nobody that is here that wants to make a comment on the record. We'll simply keep the public hearing open for another 4 minutes. And we will conclude things around 11:15. Feel free to check your device. right, seeing there's been no public comments and no further comments made, I will now close the public hearing at 11:15 a.m. Thank you all for attending. Easy enough.